Haal-o-Maqam, Iqbalurdu.blogspot.com. This website, gives a title of Worlds Apart to this Haal-o-Maqam Nazm. For me, I will give it a different title, and my title would be Illusionary and Real Spiritual Station. You know, so illusionary and or real or permanent spiritual station. So let's say there are two people and they both are making tall claims, okay, regarding spirituality, and so they are making tall claims. So how a common person like me, like you, how can we see this? How can we say that which one is true? Okay, which one is who is right? Okay, so this poem will help us understand that. So दिल जिंदा व बीदार अगर हो तो बतदरीज बंदे को अता करते हैं चश्मे निगरां और. So if one's heart is alive and awakened, okay. So so first let's see what is heart. Okay, so human heart is a very special place, as we know that, we all know that. The reason is that, so in Iqbal's poetry, you will always see heart versus intellect. Okay, so heart is a place, human heart is a place, and that it can connect to all other human hearts. Rather, it is connected to all other human hearts. Okay, it has this ability that it can connect to all human hearts at one end, and at the same time it can connect to Rabb of Alameen, the creator who created heart and mind and intellect and everything that we see and that we cannot see. So human heart can connect to all other human hearts, and it can connect to creator at the same time. Okay, so if a human heart is in this condition, okay, that it is connected to all other human hearts and it is connected to Rabbul Kareem. Okay, the simple example I can come up with is that I am a person and I can extend my arms, both arms, and on one side I am holding the hand of creator, or actually he is holding my hand, and on the other side I am holding the entire humanity, so I'm holding, humanity close to me. So in this situation, if I am in this situation and I'm holding them, both of them close to me, that means I am alive. Okay, so human heart, and likewise, when it is connected to all other human hearts and it is connected to the Rabb of Alameen, that means that heart is alive. Okay, and so if a heart is alive and awakened, bidar, so what does it mean by bidar? So as I said, that Iqbal's poetry, it's intellect versus heart. All the time you will see this. So intellect, is something that intellect's way of thinking is different. Okay, intellect thinks in terms of profits and loss. Okay, so intellect always, does these computations that, whatever will benefit me, I'm gonna adopt it. I'll give you simple examples. Okay, just say, just like, if you are giving, if I'm giving money to somebody, okay, and there is a person who comes and asks for some money, and okay, and I know that he's poor and I have this enough money and I can give him, but back in my mind, the thought comes that, अगर मैं इस बंदे को पैसे दे दूं तो इसके बदले में मुझे क्या मिलेगा? So what I am going to get in return if I give him this money? So this thought that comes in my mind, that is intellect's way of thinking. Okay, you can apply it everywhere, so in politics, there are politicians who just win few seats and then they want to be deputy prime minister or prime minister of the country, so that they think from intellect's point of view. Okay, so but if a person, he can detach himself, from this intellect's way of thinking. Okay, if let me put it like this: if we can switch off our mind. Okay, so we encounter a situation at every instant. We encounter situations and then we switch off our mind, or we let, heart take the driving seat and we push intellect back, to the back seat, and let heart make our decisions, whatever we have to do. Okay, so by doing that, we can say, and if we can keep doing it, if we can make it a habit, not just like one time thing. Okay, if we can make our decisions from heart's point of view and not by the intellect's way of thinking, that's when we can say that this person is bedar as well. Okay, heart is alive and heart is bedar as well. Okay, yeah. So, and this is not like it is difficult process. It's like, and that's why Iqbal uses the term Batadreej, gradually, successively, so you cannot achieve it like in one day or 2 days. It takes years and maybe whole life. You keep working on that. So, but with this ability, that if one's heart is alive and is awakened, okay, and this process is gradual, it takes, gradually a person reaches to this. Bande ko ata karte hain Chashme-e-Nigran aur. Then this person, is given by the Rabb of Alameen a special, so when he sees things around him, so there are things, there are events taking place around us, so when he sees things, he perceives them differently, he sees them differently compared to others. So when we see around, we just see like, there are things going on, and things don't make sense to us. Okay, we see that there is a lot of injustices around, and there is, all these things, but we cannot make sense of it. But this person whose heart is alive and awakened, when he looks at things and he sees things, he perceives them differently. Okay, so he is given this special vision, okay, from the Rabb of Alameen. Okay, अहवाल-o-मकामात पे मौकूफ है सब कुछ, हर लहजा है सालिक का ज़मा और मकान और. Yeah, so again it depends on the ahwal or maqam, so the how much progress this person has made. Okay, so you have, that person, he has to successfully detach himself from his surroundings. Okay, let me give you an example. We there are some people around us and we give them names like Mr. Cool. Okay, like he's cool head, he's Mr. Cool. Okay, and why is he Mr. Cool? Because we have seen him that in times or in situations which are really tough situations, this guy keeps his calm, keeps his composure, and then he manages through those situations. He wins at the end. Okay, he helps you win for your country. So, and when you envision yourself, you put yourself into that situation, you think that if I am at that position, I'm gonna start sweating. Okay, I can't be in that situation, I cannot think myself into in that situation. But this guy, he just, he doesn't bother. So why he does not bother? Because this guy has this special ability that he does not let the situations, whatever is in the surroundings, it influence his mind. He detaches himself from the situation, from the conditioning, and that is why he can um, work according to his potential, the true potential that he has. So he passes through that situation very calmly. Okay, so yeah, so it is very important that we detach ourselves from the conditionings, from the situations that are around us. Basically, we do not let our mind to take control of ourselves, because mind is the one that puts in us that this thought. It connects to the surroundings, to the conditions, to the benefits, to the profit and loss kind of thinking. So yep, so it depends how well we are trained in this, and then it changes our space and time dimension. Okay, the way we look around, we live in space and time. Okay, we are bound in space and time, but even our science tells us that the objects that we see around us, it's basically light interacts with our mind, and there are light waves and very narrow frequency of waves. That's what our mind can perceive. Okay, we cannot see everything that is around us, but what we see is very tiny region of that. Okay, I mean, in other words, so there are other creatures on living on this earth that can hear beyond our hearing capacity. What there are sounds that we cannot hear. They are either on the higher side or on the lower side of sound spectrum. But there are creatures that can listen to those sounds. Okay, and similarly, there are creatures that can see. So for them, their universe, their world will look different to ours. Okay, and then again, we can take it one step ahead, that the death, at the time of death, Quran tells us that it's gonna stay the same. You will encounter, Allah Ta'ala says, I will create into you a new creation. Okay, I will change your vision. So basically, we will be able to see things around, that we were not able to see before, and then we will be in trouble if we are not prepared for that. So accordingly, living on this earth, if our heart is alive and bidar, we can actually start seeing this. Our dimension of time and space, it starts changing. अल्फाज़-o-मानी में तफावत नहीं, लेकिन मुल्ला की अज़ा और मुजाहिद की अज़ा और. Now, these the words that I'm saying and that Iqbal has expressed, so these are, people know these things. Okay, there are intelligent people, educated people around, and everybody knows. You read books and you will know this. What I'm saying, it's not something very different. But the thing is that there is this person Mullah, okay, a typical character, and you look at him and you can tell that his name starts with, he has extensions before his name and after his name. Starts with Allama and Maulana and something, and ends with Shah and these. So he has full extended name. Okay, and then there is another person, let's call him Kami Kameen, from our society. And then so they both are standing and they say that, oh, Mullah says that I don't lie. Okay, and then the Kami Kameen says that main bhi jhoot nahi bolta. So now, but our society will give respect to this Mullah, because that's how it is. We give respect to mullahs and anyone who is influential, powerful, okay, politician. So we will believe in them. Yeah, you are right. So we will elect them again. But this coming a worker, if he says, are your PN or your gardener or whoever, if he says I don't lie, we don't trust him, because. But the thing is, maybe your mullah is incorrect. Okay, and maybe the person who is Mujahid, so the one who has actually, what he says, he has actually implemented it is this into in his character, and so what about that? So you cannot differentiate. So both people are saying the same thing, but one is incorrect and the other one is a real person who has implemented what he is saying into his character. So how can we differentiate between a real spiritual station and then a person who lives in illusionary world? How can a common person differentiate these two characters in our society? We just look at their character. Okay, we look at, so if a person is able to implement whatever he says, so whatever knowledge is given to him by the Rabb of Alamin, he can implement this knowledge on himself. That's when he becomes Mujahid. That's what it is. Mujahid, he fights with his own nafs, he fights with all the intellect's way of thinking. And and that's how we can differentiate between people. So Mullah is the one who has knowledge, but he has not implemented his knowledge. It does not reflect from his character. Mujahid is the person, when he is given the knowledge, he implements a single bit of it into his character. Okay, and that's how we differentiate them. And we can see this, परवाज़ है दोनों की इसी एक फिजा में, किर्गिज़ का जहाँ और है शाही का जहाँ और. And just like you have vultures and you have eagle, they share the same sky. We have one sky and you see vultures flying around and then you see eagles above. Okay, I mean, but how different they are. Vultures are, they wait for the they eat the dead meat. Okay, so they wait for, they can sense that there is this living being, and it's weak and his time is up, and they wait until the moment when that living being dies. Okay, they cannot attack the living animal or something as long as he is alive. The vultures cannot attack, but when he's dead, that's when they go after his dead meat. Okay, but Shaheen, on the other hand, he flies way above, and then he doesn't, he goes after his own prey. Okay, and flies above, and then he explores the skies. Okay, and whenever there's a need to eat something, he goes and he preys his own, and he will take few bites, the ones that the bites that are enough for him to keep him alive, and then he moves on again, takes the flight into the sky, and he leaves this the dead meat for the Kyrgyz to take care